On tonight's CTV News, the Finance Minister hints to the Christchurch City Council, sell assets to cover your insurance shortfall, and schools are facing off at this year's Stage Challenge competition. This is CTV News. I'm Grant Mangan. Finance Minister Bill English has sent a strong message to the Christchurch City Council over selling their assets.
Should the Christchurch City Council sell off their assets? It's the question being asked as the cash-strapped council faces covering a $534 million shortfall in their finances. The Christchurch City Council has the chance to make $1.4 billion if they were to sell three of their biggest assets, including Orion, the Christchurch International Airport and Lyttelton Port. Finance Minister Bill English believes it's time the council stopped looking elsewhere for funds after receiving strong support from the government post-earthquake.
And I think they could reciprocate that support in the way they're starting to actually, and that is by considering how to reorganise their own affairs to ensure they're doing their best to come out of this financially strong.
Cameron Partners are a corporate advisory firm commissioned by the council to assess the value of the council's assets. Their report predicts the council's debt is going to get worse before it gets better, expecting it to peak in 2019. A full sale of the council's shares in Orion would net about $602 million. The Christchurch Airport could generate about $557 million, and Lyttelton Port Company would generate $231 million. And Minister English believes it's time the council starts making the tough decisions about whether to keep them.
I think they're starting to understand that when the taxpayer is putting in $15.5 billion, then to keep faith with the rest of New Zealand who've been very supportive, it would be we'd like to see the council get its financial position very clear, deal with some of the more difficult decisions that only they can make. So that they can be seen to be carrying their weight.
The Cameron report also calls for a new organisation structure that requires consolidation of the council's assets and subsidies. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
More than 129 New Zealand rental properties failed a warrant of fitness on their homes.
Results from a nationwide housing warrant of fitness trial show 90% of the houses did not pass the test. 140 rental properties were evaluated, looking at factors such as water temperatures, suitable smoke alarms and insulation. 22 Christchurch homes were tested, but Christchurch's City Council Housing Committee Chair Glenn Livingston told CTV News it will not be made mandatory. Demand for houses in Christchurch is increasing, but the housing market isn't. Glenn Livingston says people searching for homes aren't going to be fussed if the house has a warrant or not. Councillor Livingston says the warrant of fitness will be more suitable in the longer term. He says the priority for Christchurch now, still recovering from the earthquakes, is about warm, dry houses and suitable living. Councillor Livingston says when the initiative comes in, it'll be a voluntary scheme. He predicts people will be slow to get on board at first, and then it'll become an imperative for people looking to rent.
Numbers of flood-affected homes doubled within days as the Christchurch City Council looked for solutions.
Flood-prone houses in Christchurch have doubled in less than a week. The Christchurch City Council's flooding task force revealed on Monday protecting 56 of Christchurch's most vulnerable properties could cost up to $13.6 million. These properties are defined as having water above floor levels at least twice. Council reported 451 houses experienced below floor flooding and 487 had access to their homes compromised. Days later, residents are calling the council, informing them of flood-affected areas not included in the task force report. Land Drainage Operations Manager Mike Galuli said at the Stormwater Conference the data was already significantly out of date in areas they didn't realise they had flooding. Galuli says it's an absolute travesty to be flooded more than once in a first world country like New Zealand. No decision has been made to fight or flight. Galuli says leaving permanently is the expensive option, but that's not his choice to make. Next week, the council will report to government. The focus will be on residents whose situations are so unbearable, the only option will be to move out.
So far this year, it seems that insurers have been going strong settling earthquake-related claims.
Progress is being made on insurance settlements. In the past 3 months, 756 earthquake claims were finalised. 3/4 of that figure made up of cash settlements. Insurance Council of New Zealand Chief Executive Tim Grafton says settling over half of the claims shows a real drive by private insurers and claims management companies to resolve quake-related claims. Rebuilds picked up at the start of the year. From January through to March, 84 rebuilds and 103 repairs were completed. Over $500 million in residential claims have been settled in the last 4 months. The Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority quarterly survey says insurers have settled over half of overcap and out-of-scope earthquake claims. Overcap claims are those above the 100,000 plus GST cap for EQC. Out-of-scope claims includes driveways, pathways and swimming pools. In the same period, insurers received nearly 500 new overcap claims from EQC. Grafton says insurers remain hopeful of completing the majority of insurer-managed rebuilds by 2017. A spokesperson for Canterbury Community's Earthquake Recovery Network is concerned about the amount of new claims and says numbers alone can't paint an accurate picture of progress. Over 10,000 claims are still to be settled.
Coming up, short-term rentals are in hot demand and Timaru's benefiting from new ownership of their port.
Wild Spirits covers the biggest, most extreme sports events across the planet. From surfing to base jumping, snowboarding to motocross, this series will sure to have you on the edge of your seat. Wild Spirits, Wednesday nights at 7, CTV.
Get rid of that damaging and unsightly moss, mould and lichen from your path, drive or roof with Mossbuster. Mossbuster is a no-bleach, non-abrasive, biodegradable solution that has over 35 years of proven results. Mossbuster costs less than half the price of other well-known products and can be yours for less than $1 a litre. You just spray it on and let Mother Nature do the rest. Check out our website to find the best solution to your moss, mould and grime problem. Order online or call us now on 0800 88 1000.
Hi, I'm Steve and welcome to Carpet Kingdom. At Carpet Kingdom we stock a massive range of carpets and we're also the largest vinyl stockist in the South Island. And not only do we have an excellent range in store, but you can purchase our stock online. We offer free measuring quotes, we have our own installation team, we ship nationwide, so come on down and see us at Carpet Kingdom. 312 Wilsons Road in Waltham, just off Brougham Street, or visit us online at carpetkingdom.co.nz.
Avoid the monkeys when it comes to relocating. Trust A1 Movers, a family business since 1993 that guarantees a professional job every time. We carefully handle and wrap your valued items, ensuring they have a safe journey. Secure storage and insurance options are also available.
A1 Movers, the careful, caring moving company.
Oi! Ready to go, mate? Flight leaves at 4:30.
Relax, mate. We'll park at Airpark Canterbury.
Airpark Canterbury, privately owned and operated with a free 24/7 shuttle service. Call 0800 Airpark or book online at airparkcanterbury.co.nz.
Meet the latest arrivals at Berlin's 2 animal parks and find out what it takes to be a zoo baby in a modern zoo. Zoo Juniors. Wednesday nights at 8 p.m, right here on CTV.
The Port of Timaru has had a boost after a North Island port took over the container terminal.
It's been more business than usual for the Port of Timaru. After signing a deal with the largest port in the country, Timaru's mayor believes it's had a positive impact on the area.
Obviously our numbers on our container trade have been dropping. We're only aligned to one international shipping line, and Port of Tauranga was strategically looking for a central South Island base, and a deal was struck to work together around the port, and they manage the container terminal solely themselves under a lease, and then we're 50-50 of everything else. So that's given us some really good gains.
The port peaked when it was trading up to 80,000 containers annually, but numbers began dwindling in 2008. A turning point for the port as larger volumes of containers were being traded through the port of Littleton and Otago. dropping Timaru's trade to just 20,000.
We had container trade of around 80,000 containers a year. That had reduced to about 20,000, and that was a decision made. Fonterra were taking a lot of stuff to Littleton, and obviously we have a rail network out of here. So once we started to lose some of that container trade, it made it less viable for some shipping lines to come in.
Port of Tauranga paid $21.6 million to Timaru District Council's holding company, signing a 15-year agreement and becoming 50% shareholders with Primeport. They then upped the ante, buying a land-based hub in Ralston, but there's no sign of the port slowing down.
At the moment, we're very close to signing a deal with Wholesome to have their one of their main centres here for importing cement and then distributing it around the country. So that's ignited the old port big time.
The agreement between the Port of Tauranga and the Timaru District Council will stand for 15 years, with 2 rights of renewal of 10 years each. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
Chinese tourism has become a booming market in Christchurch. Timaru is also benefiting from the overseas visitors.
Chinese tourism in Canterbury is growing and Timaru is feeling the boost. Christchurch Airport has noticed a 60% increase in travellers from China, stemming from direct Chinese flights landing in Christchurch as of February, each plane carrying 220 passengers. The sector has noted a trend in travelling, many hiring rental cars and travelling independently around the South Island, which is where Timaru has seen the boost in Chinese travellers. The tourism industry of New Zealand hopes to reach $41 billion in revenue from the Chinese market by 2025. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
The annual Sefton Tug of War will take place on Sunday. The event is a fundraiser for Sefton Primary School. Proceeds contribute towards the children's education. It's proved itself to be a fun day out for the whole family, with children's entertainment, hot food, drink, stalls and a farmer's market. First prize in the trophy pool is $1,500. Teams of 8 people plus 2 reserves compete for the prize. Teams can be made up of businesses, sports teams or groups of friends. Taking to the stage to win the ASB Stage Challenge is a highlight for many school students. Emma Cropper was at rehearsals ahead of tonight's show.
Cramming in some last-minute practice backstage before performing in front of a packed-out CBS Arena tonight. The ASB Stage Challenge will see 30 local schools showcase drama and dance in an 8-minute performance. Each school striving to push the boundaries with their concept through sets, costume and choreography.
She gets taken through all these dreams by the sheep, and then the sheep run away and she's got left with nightmares and she wakes up and everything's fine.
And it's all based on the ideas and hard work of these guys, the students.
So we've got schools that practice for months and months. Some even start practicing the year before, working on themes, concepts, their soundtrack. It's incredible.
For Rangiruru girls, it's their final chance on stage to get their dreams and nightmares performance perfect. It's perfect. A story following a small girl who can't sleep at night and is taken on a journey with the sheep she's been counting.
For the last 17 weeks, once a week, and then we went to twice a week, and also in school holidays. So yeah, very hard. They have a lot of blood, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears.
Rangiruru girls are part of the J-Rock division, made up of primary and intermediate schools, and the girls aren't feeling the pressure. And are you feeling nervous about performing tonight?
No, I think we've got it, yeah.
It's the 22nd year of Stage Challenge, which will see thousands of students take to the stage over 2 nights, a way of highlighting fun without drugs, alcohol and tobacco. And also a fun day for the students.
Oh, it's really fun. It's really good in that, yeah.
I like meeting up with the friends, doing lots of dancing and things. I like how we choose the moves to our songs and they suit the beats.
It's the last night of performances tonight, with Rangiora High School already taken out top prize yesterday. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
And still to come, your region's business news, weather and sport.
Be immersed in the unique cultural highlights Germany has to offer every Tuesday night with Discover Germany. Tuesday at 7 p.m, right here on CTV.
Potholes. To some, a simple hole in the ground. causing no harm and no concern. But don't let that fool you. Potholes are dangerous. Did you know potholes have been linked to numerous nasty falls and flat tires? So if you have a pothole situation on your property, don't panic. Call the Pothole Repair Company. They'll fix your potholes in a jiffy. So next time you see a pothole on your driveway or in your car park, call the Pothole Repair Company.
When it comes to the delicate subject of funeral services, Ashburton now has another option. Galbraith Funeral Services now offer you and your family their high standard of service and expertise in their offices in Havelock Street. Whether it's to chat about pre-booking a service to include all your ideas and thoughts for your own funeral, or that of another member of the family, or simply asking what's involved, call or pop in. Galbraith Funeral Service is an old firm with old-fashioned values, ensuring all the options are yours.
Christchurch has its very own enchanted utopia, the Hitching Post. Pop in and see for yourself. A magical assortment of handmade creations, custom-made candles and artwork. Choose from our huge range of water features, garden art and imported giftware. Specialists in handcrafted metal artwork made in store. Nestled on 722 Marshlands Road. The Hitching Post, defining art our way.
Are you looking for more from your local channel? CTV are online. Our latest listings, on-demand shows, program information, all on the CTV website. We'll see you there.
G'day, this is Fletch, your presenter of the TV show Classic Restos. It's the show where it's your chance to see completed restorations being shown, driven and enjoyed.
For further analysis of this year's new budget, here's Warren Head. I'm Warren Head from headliner.co.nz. This week, because of the nature of my occupation, I've been closely following the two budgets, one in Canberra, the other coming out of Wellington, and what a remarkable difference they make. It might be described as wafer thin to have a surplus promised for next year of $372 million, but it is a surplus. It's the first in 6 years, and to take you back 6 years, what a grim set of circumstances there were at the time. We had, at that point, the global financial crisis just starting to wind up, and that had been preceded by 7 quarters of recession already, all of our own making. So we've come a long distance since. I think a pat on the back's justified, although that surplus is tiny, it will grow. How to describe the budget overall? Well, I think the best description I saw was one coming out of the law firm, Chapman Tripp. They said it was a Southern Man budget. The Southern Man, Bill English, delivered a Spates-type budget. Almost boring, fairly laconic, nothing too flashy in there, really good. I guess when you come from Dipton, there's not a lot to spend your money on in Dipton. Even from one side of Dipton to the other, not too many stores. So I think that's all come through, and it shows again how important it is not just to pick your Prime Minister, but also to pick your Finance Minister. Locally, we've seen the Ryman Healthcare Company come out with another cracker result, lifted the reported profit to $195 million, all credit to them. They've been opening new sites in the past year, bringing forth a final dividend. It'll take the dividend payment up to 11-12 cents there, so good for their shareholders. Looking particularly at the Auckland market, where they have an urgent need for everything, either at the starting end for housing or at the finishing end of your lifelong ownership of property in retirement villages and also in Australia. So they've lodged for a new village at Birkenhead up there and unveiled plans for another one at Devonport if you have a mind to retire to Auckland, or they're going to also buy another site in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne. All very good stuff. And finally, just to say that I began the day fairly chilly early this morning at a breakfast at which some of our trade commissioners were there from overseas, and the guest speaker was Craig Richardson from Wynyard Group, the fairly hot high-tech company that deals in security, anti-crime software. He told me after the morning address that he's planning for bigger things on a site at the University of Canterbury if he can get that up and running. It'll be a new crime
science facility and institute, if you like, in this area, where we're leading the world in this regard. And I asked him what was the relationship like with New Zealand Police, and he said what a world-class organisation they are, one of the best cultures on the planet in terms of moving into this new form of technology to beat crime before it even gets started. All good stuff, I thought. So congratulations to all those people tonight who will get awards at the high-tech dinner at Air Force Museum. I'm Warren here for headliner.co.nz.
Here's our sporting update as we head into the weekend.
Speculation has started to circle over the future of Crusaders captain Kieran Reid after the number 8 has been left out of yet another game due to a reoccurring concussion that has plagued the IRB Player of the Year for much of the Super Rugby season. Reid has not played since a head knock sustained against the Chiefs on April 19th. Luke Whitelock has filled Reid's boots with success and will again start in the 8 jersey when the Crusaders take on the Sharks at AMI Stadium on Saturday night. Other changes of note see Israel Dagg rested to nurse a knee injury, which sees Tom Taylor slot in at fullback. Dominic Bird will partner Sam Whitelock in the locks after Luke Romano broke his ankle against the Reds last weekend, while Willie Hines and Andy Ellis continue to rotate, with Hines starting for his 50th Crusaders appearance. Saturday night's match kicks off at 7:35. Our provincial ice hockey team, the Canterbury Red Devils, have landed a major scoop in their scouting of imports for this season's national competition. The Red Devils will host a pre-season match against an invitational side this Saturday at Alpine Ice at 4:30, before their title defence starts against the Southern Stampede on June 7th. To the court now, where the Canterbury Rams take to the road for a double header in the National Basketball League this weekend. On Saturday, the Rams take on the Taranaki Mountaineers, while on Sunday, the Rams will be in the Big Smoke to play the Auckland Super City Rangers. This weekend's Hawkins Cup action sees the Battle of the Universities, with top-of-the-table Lincoln University hosting Lowly University. The battle for top 6 spots heats up when Marist Albion are at home to Burnside, while Sydenham take on Christchurch and High School Old Boys do battle with undefeated New Brighton. Linwood will need a win if they are to achieve a top 6 finish before the competition splits into 2 groups when they take on Sumner at Rugby Park, while both Shirley and Belfast will be looking for a first win of the season at Burwood. And finally tonight, this weekend's featured Press Cup match sees St Andrews at home to Timaru's Roncalli College. You can see coverage here on CTV this Sunday at 12 o'clock and 5:30. You're up to date with the latest in local sport. I'm Gordon Finlater for CTV Sport.
Now, if you don't stay at home and watch sport on this channel and instead you choose to drive around the central city, CTV's traffic update will assist you navigating the repairs taking place.
Hello travellers, to help you plan your journey around the central city, here's a few tips for the week. It will come as no surprise that parts of the city are still down to 1 lane. Here's a list of the hotspots to watch out starting Monday. The Madras and St Asaph Street intersection is to be avoided. New work is starting, which will slow Madras Street down to just a crawl. Stay away from the Barbados and Litchfield Street and Barbados-Chewham Street intersections. The Kilmore-Durham Street intersection is another one to watch out for, due to ongoing work. Durham Street's normally a smooth journey, but you may get stuck at the Durham-Litchfield Street and Durham-Chewham Street intersections. Your best bet south is Fitzgerald Avenue for those across-town journeys. To keep up to date with what's happening on the Central City roads, keep watching CTV News first at 5 for the latest updates, and in the meantime visit the Transport for Christchurch website.
And remember that traffic updates screen on this channel weekdays at 7, 8, 9 and 12 midday. Now also, before we get on to the weather, let me remind you that tonight is the final night you'll hear the music that we selected for this week. If you'd like to choose next week's weather music, send us an email or visit our Facebook page with your suggestion. Anyway, this is the last opportunity for you to enjoy this particular music track. Here's your regional weather.
Kia ora Canterbury, here's your regional weather. First up, Timaru, Temuka and Geraldine, they had a high of 14. Taking a look at mid-Canterbury, Methven and Ashburton, 14. Not forgetting about Rakaia, 14 as well. 14 also for Darfield, Leeston and Ralston. And heading towards central Canterbury, Lincoln and Christchurch, 14 degrees. Over in Akaroa, no different from the rest of the area, 14. North Canterbury, a mild day, Rangiora, Kaipoi hitting 14. And Amberley as well, 14. Up in the Huranui, Culverton, Hanma Springs and Cheviot had the high of the day on 15. And up in Kaikoura, slightly cooler on 14. And looking ahead for tomorrow, Timaru, another fine late autumn day ahead with plenty of sunshine and light winds. Tonight's low 0, tomorrow's high 14. In Ashburton, light frosts at first, but fine and sunny for most of your Saturday with a little bit of wind. Tonight's going to hit a low of 0, but tomorrow's high will be 14. And in Christchurch, it's going to be frosty in the morning, but with pleasant afternoon temperatures and light northeasterly breezes. Tonight's low will hit 0, tomorrow's high 14. And Kaikoura, plenty of sunshine to cheer your Saturday, with light winds tending northeasterly during the afternoon. Tonight's low will hit 0 and tomorrow will hit a high of 14. Taking a look at the other areas around the region, Temuka and Geraldine a low of 1 and a high of 14. Methven hitting -1 overnight with a high of 14 during the day. Rakaia a high of 14, low of -1. Darfield -1 overnight and a high of 14. Leeston 14 during the day and 0 overnight. Ralston and Lincoln a high of 14 and 0 overnight as well. Looking towards Akaroa, a low of 3 and a high of 14. Same for Rangiora and Kaipoi, a high of 14 and a low of 0. Culverton, Hanma Springs and Cheviot have the high of 15 and a low of 0. Looking ahead for Canterbury, fresh gutsy northwesterlies on Sunday with high cloud and mild temperatures. Fine on Monday with some high cloud and long sunny periods. Expect moderate northerly winds. Fresh mild northwesterlies and high cloud on Tuesday. A period of cloud and possibly a few brief light showers on Wednesday, but becoming fine later in the day with cooler southwesterlies dying out. Fine and sunny with mild northerly winds on Thursday. That's the weather for your Friday. Enjoy your evening and have a safe weekend.
And that is CTV News for Friday and the week. I'm Grant Mangan. Have a great weekend and good night.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.